looking at target 6B now. Determine that two figures are similar using AASS and SAS similarity by verifying that angle measure is preserved and corresponding sides are proportional and used to make conclusions. This is kind of a longer target. We'll figure out what all those stand for in a little bit. This first video is really doing a lot of our pre-work. We're not going to get into much similar triangles yet. We're really going to kind of look at what it means for angles to be congruent, all of that, okay? So 6B.1 is I can calculate and identify congruent angles by applying the definition of similarity, corresponding angles, vertical angles, and the triangle angle sum theorem. So the first thing we're going to look at is what are similar figures. This whole unit is about similarity and similar figures, so we do want to know what those are. Okay? So similar figures are when, let me get a pen, you have two figures, or any amount of figures. So figures, by figures I just mean like shapes, so we're going to be looking at triangles a lot, but you could have like rectangles, quadrilaterals, a pentagon, any figure, any shape. So figures that have what we call proportional sides. And congruent angles. Another kind of easier way to think of it is it's the same shape, but different sizes. Different size. Same shape, different size. Okay. So, for instance, we're going to say, look at these, example 1. These two triangles are similar, right? And that's what this means. Given MNP is, triangle MNP is similar to triangle SRT. This little squiggle mark means similar. We're going to see that a lot. Okay. So what are the pairs of congruent angles? Well, one thing to keep in mind is triangles have 3 angles. That's where the word triangle comes from. So if I'm saying my pairs of congruent angles, I should have 3 pairs for the 3 angles. Okay? And the easiest way to think about it is to look at the name. And what I mean by name is this. These are the names. It's triangle MNP and triangle SRT. So I'm going to say angle M, which is my first letter, is congruent. That's our congruency symbol to angle whatever my first letter is in the second one. Okay, so that little squiggle mark means congruent. I'm going to keep doing this with my other letters of my triangle as well. So my second is N and R. So angle N is congruent to angle R. And my oh, it changed. Okay, sorry. My last letter here is I have a P here and T here. So angle P is congruent to angle T. Alright, that's it for that part. Right, now I'm going to look at second part. What is the proportion for the ratios of the corresponding sides. Okay. Before we do that, sorry, the last thing I want to do is look at one other thing. A lot of times we'll put in our picture how these are congruent. The number of lines that you show in an angle, so that's angle M. Should have done blue there, that's okay. Angle N and R, to show that they're congruent to each other, but not congruent to the other ones, I'm going to use 2 lines. And then in our last one, again, to show that they're congruent to each other, but not to the other angles, I'll use 3 lines. So how many of our lines you have shows how many, or what else it's congruent to. So now let's look at our sides, right? So sides, a triangle also has 3 sides. So we are also going to have 3 proportions, and proportions are just fractions. So for this, I'm also going to look at the name. But to name a side, I need 2. Just M is a point. I need to go from N to something to get my side of the triangle. So here I'm going from N to N. Over the same letters on the other side, from S to R. Okay. Whatever that fraction is going to equal my next set of letters. So from N to P, and then my other triangle, right, that's this side, and my other triangle will have R to T. And my last set, right, because again, a triangle has 3 sides, I've only done 2. I have to go from the last all the way back to the first. So from P to M, and then this one, T to S. And that's it for figuring out our corresponding angles and sides. All right, let's look at our next set of problems. Okay, what are corresponding angles? The next thing we have to think about. So, corresponding angles, we say, corresponding angles are angles that are in the same place when a line crosses 2 parallel lines. Okay, so their angles are in the same place when a line crosses 2 parallel lines. Okay, so right here, these little marks are parallel marks. It shows that those 2 lines are parallel. And then if a line intersects 2 parallel lines, so if you have corresponding angles, then the corresponding angles are congruent. And remember, your congruent mark is an equal sign with a squiggle over it. So in this picture, I have angle 1, it's in the top left corner. Angle 5 is also in the top left corner. I also have an angle 2 here in the top right. Angle 6 is in the top right. Those 2 are congruent. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 7. They're in the same place. I'll leave it unmarked. Angle 4 is congruent to angle 8. They're both in the bottom left. Okay? So those are corresponding angles. Vertical angles. Now, vertical angles are angles that are opposite each other. What that humming is. When two lines cross. Okay. So, again, if two lines intersect, then vertical angles are also congruent. So in this case, angle 1 and angle 3 are opposite each other. Angle 2 and angle 4 are opposite of each other. All right, let's look at examples here with triangles. Example 2. Determine which angles are vertical angles and write a congruency statement. So, right, they're opposite each other when two lines cross. These two angles are the two angles in the triangle that are vertical angles. In order to write this congruency statement, I can't just say angle B, because this has a B and this one has a B. I need to use 3 letters. So I'm going to say it just how I would draw it. I'm going to draw the 2 lines just like that, and that's how I'm going to write my angle. Okay. Whatever is like the point in the middle, we call it the vertex, has to be in the middle here too. Same thing on the other side. It's congruent to angle A, B, C. Looking at our next problem. Here, right, this is showing that they're parallel. So this is going to be something with corresponding angles. Okay? Again, it's kind of just getting to know that when you have something that looks like this, these two angles are congruent. Again, I'm going to draw it. I'm going to write it like I draw it. Angle, I want M, L, N. And then here I'm going M, S, T. I also have, right, these two angles are in the same spot as well. These two angles are also congruent. Angle, N and L, right, drawing it like, or writing it like I would draw it, congruent to angle MTS. Be very careful, because if you notice, these are just kind of like in a different order, but it gives you 2 very different angles. So the order of the letters very much does matter. Final thing we're going to look at today is our triangle angle sum. The triangle angle sum theorem states the angles in a triangle add to 180 degrees. Always, no matter what the triangle looks like. Alright, so looking at our example here, I'm going to put, instead of this, I'm just going to say this is x degrees. I don't know what that angle is. Okay, I don't know how many degrees it is. So whatever that measure is, right, we've been using blanks a lot. We're actually going to start using variables. So our blank x plus 117 plus 33 has to equal 180. Okay, triangle will always add up to 180. The first thing I'm going to do, since these two numbers are on the same side of my equal sign, all I do is just add them together. That's x plus, so 117 plus 33 is 150. Okay. So anytime things are on the same side, right, they're like terms, I just combine them. Now, 150 and 180 are on opposite sides. Since they're on opposite sides, I have to do the opposite. 180 minus 150 is 30 degrees. So this angle here would be 30 degrees. All right, that's it. Go ahead and work on B1.